Well, hello everyone. I'm Dr. Stock, and this video is for entertainment purposes only. Today I have a question. Have you guys, I don't know how old you guys are who are watching. I think from what I see in my analytics, a lot of you are around my age. Do you remember the song I Saw Red by Warrant? Now, for me, it was from my childhood, so the context and the meaning, like I kind of get some of it, but I definitely don't remember a lot of the words. But that song kept going through my head today as I'm looking at the markets, even from just looking at the futures and seeing down being 1 to 2%, and then throughout the day going in the NASDAQ, we went down below 3% down for the day, and even just looking at the crypto market, oh my goodness, I saw red. And then I closed the door. Actually, I didn't close the door on this one. It's one that I continually looked at. I use crypto. I took the opportunity to do some dollar cost averaging. And Ethereum, as I watch it here on my screen, I see that it just gave a little dip below 3,000 again. And remember, in my other videos, if you watch them, I mentioned that Ethereum could pull back, and it was when I was looking at bearish divergence actions before any of this really happened today or even anything from yesterday. It was a few days ago. I'd have to go back and see the date exactly for when that was, and I said if it does pull back, if we do get that sort of divergence, I expect to see between like maybe 3,000 per ETH. If it does go below 3,000, maybe down to 2,900. And, so far that's held up. And so that's nice to see that. And then there's also stock stuff to talk about. I just got asked in the Discord today about NEO. What do you think about that $35 mark? And I sent a picture that there's some pretty solid support to be found for NEO. I do want to take a look across different stocks in the stock market. I want to take a look at stuff that's in the crypto market and just talk about a little bit of the FUD that's going on right now and what to go through with from here and how to play it forward. And, maybe you'll craft some ideas from this. I have some of my own ideas that I want to share for you. So if you stick around, we'll get ready to rock. Well, is Warrant something to rock over if we see red? I don't know. Let's find out. Welcome back. For those of you who like this video, go ahead and cover up your eyeballs like this. You can peek out a little bit and mash around your screen till you find that like button. Maybe you'll happen across that subscribe button as well. And then also don't forget that notification bell, ding, that will, and I just realized I give the like symbol. I should ring a bell instead to get notified anytime that my videos come out. That's one way that you can support this channel. Another way is just watch the video all the way through, and that's another way to make sure that this video gets up through the rankings. So more of my support is seen, the more support I see from you guys, the more support that I can bring to you, and it's been an absolutely incredible experience. And I always look forward to doing more here on YouTube and doing more with stocks, finance, cryptos, you name it. It's just been a lot of fun. Other ways that you can support down in the description. You can support yourself by signing up for Moomoo or Webull, depositing your money into those accounts, and by doing so you get free stocks. I get free stocks through referral, so it's a win-win for both of us. And then also down in the description is the referral link for, oh my goodness, no, just the link to my Patreon. It's not a referral link. So if you go over to my Patreon, you'll see my buy alerts, my sell alerts, and I did a lot of buys in cryptos today. I did quite a few selling for rebalancing purposes. I took some profits today. Kind of wish that I did it Friday, but I guess I mistimed the market on that one. I was hoping, because I did report it out in my Patreon today about the debt ceiling and everything like that, and I was hoping I got one more day before we had any sort of massive sell-off. But I'll take the profits that I have. Some of those were quite substantial. I cut some of my losses for tax purposes, and from there I made a stronger cash position, so that way when we see this pass, I can take advantage of it. All that was reported through the Patreon. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, you can go over there and check it out. I should actually say the Discord that's attached to that Patreon is where I do a lot of that announcing. I put some general stuff on the Patreon, but that live interactive the live interaction, I guess I should call it, happens through the Discord. All right, enough of that. Moving on to the other stuff. So we have the debt ceiling to worry about, and the reason that the debt ceiling is a problem is that the United States has spent a ton of money, like $22 trillion or something, and they're out of money to spend. Like, yeah, they could print more, but they're not allowed to really spend it on anything because of the debt ceiling that's been imposed. And this is something that in the early 2000s was I think 1.4 trillion or something around the 2008 financial crisis that we saw back then. Moving into 2011 when Black Monday hit, they also hit the debt ceiling back then, and that was something that had to be moved up, I believe, and I think that happened in 2 phases. But when Black Monday happened, that dropped the markets 5 to 7%, and we already had fragile markets. I would argue that the pandemic that we have gone through has rocked markets much harder and sent them much higher than anything that we saw coming out of the 2008. It's been an incredible run, don't get me wrong. However, it's just been so much up so fast that, I mean, really depending on how this plays out with the debt ceiling, we could see more than what we saw today. And that's something that I want to watch out for. So I wanted to take care of that rebalancing, even though today was not the best day for selling, because I'd much rather sell on a green day like we had on Friday. There were some incredibly good selling deals then. Today is a day that I would rather be buying. I actually didn't really do a lot. I bought some options. I didn't really do a lot with buying of stock today because I think that there's going to be better deals coming up as we play this out, watching for when that debt ceiling crisis is going to be solved for us. There's other problems that we have too. So if the United States defaults on their debt because they can't pay anything more on their debt, that's a bad thing. They can get a downgraded credit rating, which is something that inspired Black Monday back in 2011, which means that it's not as cheap to borrow money, which means that it's, well, it just gets more expensive, which means it washes out profits. It's also, we have talk of rising interest rates through inflation. There's that problem. China also has its own thing going on with a big company, the China Enron, also going belly up. There's a lot going on in the markets right now. Ooh, corporate tax rate. There's another one that if the corporations are being taxed, that doesn't translate as well to the bottom lines then if they are forced to pay a higher tax rate as well. So there's a lot going on in the market. I don't think it's over, and even if we stabilize a little bit tomorrow, or maybe we take a dead cat bounce, I think that we could sell off further from where we're at right now. Sorry to look off camera. I have a cat that's in the room that is bathing, and he is loud. Like, just, that's all I hear the whole time. It's kind of distracting. So I'm sorry for also bringing that to your attention as well, but I want to move on from there. So I didn't really buy too much in the markets today because I think that there's going to be some better deals coming up. However, you can see in the markets, I'm going to share that with you guys in just a moment. You can see that there has been some buying already. If you noticed, I don't know if you were watching how the markets were trending or not, but they were trending downwards very strongly, pretty much consistently downward. And then within the last, I don't know, I'd have to go back and look how much time there was in the markets because I didn't catch market close, but we had a sudden rebound from below 3%. We had an over 3% drop, I should say. We dropped down below 3% from where we closed on Friday in the NASDAQ, and then it recovered back to around 2%. And I think I know that's why. And then I also want to share that crypto news with you, moving, because the two of them, they really are tied. I think that there's a massive de-risking that's taking place from the higher markets, and what better time to do it than now, prior to the end of Q3, and I think it's going to turn into a strong end to Q4. So those are things to watch out from. I think that we ride this wave down, we dollar cost average maybe, and for me, I'm waiting because I'm trying to have just a slightly better spot. And honestly, timing the markets versus dollar cost averaging, am I crazy? It's what I feel comfortable doing, so it's the way that I'm going to handle it. So moving forward from here, let me share the graphs with you. And there we go, clicky clicky, button. And let's go over to Webull first, actually. So the first one I have for you is actually kind of strange because it's American Airlines, and they did all right in the market today. You can see from the pre-market, they were around $19. They popped up over 20. And where did they close? They closed the market today at over $20 per share. Not a bad looking chart, American Airlines. Nice work. What I want you to pay attention to, though, is the volumes that are on this chart that we had. Big numbers at the open, not surprising. But look what happened at the close in the last... this is the 10-minute chart here. So in the last 10 minutes of the market, we get a decent volume spike. People are buying into that. Let's go to Apple. Make sure you pay attention to the volumes that come up in the last 10 minutes. Holy cow, Apple. That's bigger than their volume that it was to open the market. So yeah, they closed lower, but there's a lot of buying here. That's 16 million shares traded taking place. Look at that crawl up out of the gutter. And if we go back here to the beginning of the pre-market hours, the opening market hour, we have 13 million, and then all the low volumes in between, markets deciding what to do, and then finally cashing in on or dollar cost averaging into some of those prices at the end. Let's move on to some other ones. Airbnb, look at this one. I was looking at this one. I thought that this was incredible. Look at that volume spike. 2 million shares traded versus 600,000 shares traded to open the market today. So awesome for Airbnb. And I'll move out of the A's for you here. We'll go down to Alibaba, which is a company based in China. And China's going through their own thing, but still you can see the little perk up in volume at the end. Bank of America, I believe, also had incredible volume at the end of the day. Look at that volume spike over the other ones. So if you guys want to know how this thing is being played right now, people are watching these things sell off like they are. And look at this. This is called 3 white soldiers right here. That signals a reversal. And even though we don't really see the end of this play out, that's a strong finish into the close. There are a lot of people who took this as a dollar cost averaging opportunity. And, I don't know if they took it as seeing the bottom of it. I think that we still have the bottom to be found. And because I do feel that way, I'm going to wait a little bit before I take any of that cash position that I have and really jump heavily into the markets. What I'm really hoping for is that we get some significantly depressed prices, and the prices that we're going to rebound to after we settle down and everything calms down a little bit and some of the volatility settles, is that some of those options get a little bit cheaper for those prices that we're at, because I think we're going to climb really strongly out of where we're at in Q3 right now, and that we're going to have a very successful Q4 as long as we play this debt ceiling thing well. I think it's going to turn out very well for us. Honestly, one of the reasons I think it's a problem and why Republicans and Democrats together don't just be like, okay, let's just make this happen, I think it gives the Republicans some significant leverage right now. And with that leverage, why would you just let that little bit of leverage go? So the things that they don't like about the infrastructure package is like, look, we have a negotiating chip on the table now. Help us out with the debt ceiling and we're good to go. Or do the debt ceiling yourself, and then, we have more say in the infrastructure package. So it is a nice negotiating piece from a political standpoint, market standpoint. As an investor, as a trader, I don't feel too great about it. I don't like them messing with my finances in that way. I know that that's not necessarily the intent for what's happening, but it's definitely happening regardless. So moving on, let's go down to, there's our friend Coinbase. This gets double whammy because it's not only in stock market, but it's also in crypto, so it has exposure in both. This one didn't actually have volume that overwhelmed what we had at the open. Still some pretty strong volume into the close. Kupang, South Korea, not China. Again, good. Here we'll move down to, our Lucid actually had a great day today. I think they may have crossed the $25 mark at one point. Nope, they got close. They got close to the $25 mark. They actually had a decent aftermarket hour, but look at the look at the volumes that we have on the 10-minute chart here. About 9 million shares traded. All right, so I think I made my point. My point here is that the markets have been selling off, but with such a steep drop, there's going to be a lot of buying that takes place as a result. So into the close here, I think we have people taking price of different sales that happened after the big run-ups that we've had, that the people are jumping back into it. So here's Matterport as well. Crypto, check this out. Bitcoin under 44,000, Ethereum under $3,000 per Ether token, Tethercoin, it's at $1. Who's surprised by that one, right? Hopefully not a lot of people. It's always going to be right around there as the stablecoin that it is. Moving on, Cardano. Cardano hit around $2. I think it may have even peaked below $2 for a little bit. And this is when I said $2 to $2.10 is where we're going to find really strong support. If it dips below there, then we should recover quickly. I also said for Ethereum, if it drops below 3,000, we'll see about 2,900. So far, that's held out. So depending on how much downward pressure we get, because enough pressure, anything's going to snap. But we see on a sell-off day like today, hitting those support numbers, that is very, very good news for us. From a dollar cost averaging perspective, honestly, I would like cheaper prices. But for people who are using margin for these sort of things and could run the fear of margin calls, this could be a very bad thing. And I don't want to see anybody end up in financial ruin because, well, I'm just not that kind of guy. I don't wish that on anybody. So Solana floating right around 140. Polkadot under $30. Awesome. Moving on. The Doji still hanging around 21 cents. Awesome for Dogecoin. So to withstand that pressure, still be at 21 cents. For the people who are the followers of the Doge, the Doge, I think we're in good shape for that one for right now. That's good support to see that hold. Moving on from there, what else we got? Chainlink about $24. Seems about reasonable given the sell-off that we had. Polygon around $1.15. Woo! All right. So I did take the opportunity today. I did add to my positions in crypto because I think that these might recover a little bit quicker than what we see in the financial market. So we'll have to see where that risk on, risk off thing is going. But definitely with crypto, it's one of those pretty much risk on all the time. So you're taking on a lot of risk just by investing in it. So moving your money out of that to sort of a place of safety until things stabilize, you're going to have people do that. For me, I'm going to let my money ride in the crypto space, continue to dollar cost average into it because I think that we have a really incredible bull run coming up ahead of us. I think it's been ongoing for a long time, actually. And I don't want to move my money out of that. Whereas the stock market, I think that we're going to have different parts moving in different ways. And I wanted to rebalance my portfolio anyway, so I thought that now was a good time to do that rebalancing, take advantage of some of the profits that I made, offset it by some of the losses that I have. And with that said, I moved to a stronger cash position, and I'll be looking for more plays to jump back into, and I'll be looking for more opportunities for option plays as well. I think this is going to be really good news for support for us moving forward from here. Let me get out of here and I will summarize for you guys because this video is getting a little bit lengthy. All right, so let me summarize. This FUD, this too shall pass. What else do you want me to say? I think it's going to take a little bit. If it doesn't happen by September the 27th, it's got to happen by like mid-October for the debt ceiling. China's going to have a little bit of mess going on there with their situation. So I don't know how long that's going to play out. It should be something that affects the United States markets less than what we have with the debt ceiling, but it's definitely having a big impact. I think that it accounts for some of the red that we're seeing today. And, well, a lot of the companies, when we see the prices that they dropped down to, when we had a 3% drop in the NASDAQ, like a 2-ish% drop or so in the Dow Jones at one point in time, like, those were pretty big drops. And if you saw the support hit and hold on days like that, then you know where there's some decent support going on for those companies. And we'll see how much it withstands if there is a further sell-off. Will we get a bounce tomorrow? It's possible. We got a pretty good drop. Will we see further drops? Again, that's still pretty possible in my opinion, until we get things resolved on the political ends of things, until we find out what's going on with the debt ceiling. I think that we're in for just further volatility, and I'm going to stand on the sidelines for a lot of this noise to go through, and I'm going to keep a lot of my positions that I have. I still have almost all of them. I did slim down some. I exited just a few that I wanted to cut loose that had some promise and didn't pan out as much as I had hoped that they would. When I think that we're seeing the bottom, when I think that we're getting close to resolution, that's really when I'm going to jump in and take some of that cash that I have. Because like I said, I think it'll be very green for us into Q4, and I think we should have a strong end to 2021. So black swan events aside, that's what I got for you. So thank you guys for watching this video. I really appreciate it. And again, if you haven't already and you do like this video, hit the like button, eyes wide open this time, hit the like button, subscription button, and notification bell. There, I did the right hand signal for that one. Also, Patreon, I'm going to check it out, interact with me and the other investors that we have over there. They're very passionate, polite, and just awesome people when it comes to investing. And if you're also one of those people and you want to join us, we'd love to have you over there. Moo and Weeble, sign up, deposit your money, get your free stocks. And let me see, there's something else. What is it? Oh, I know. I'm Dr. Stock. Thanks for rocking with me. Now go get that money.